Hare Krishna. I'm going to share with you all a small story today. Since we just recited Shubha Goswami Ashtakam, I thought this story is very instructive and very beautiful about the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. So the six Goswamis of Vrindavan were very exalted personalities who gave up very opulent lives and lived as sadhus in Vrindavan, literally having nothing, no possession at all. One day, Rupa Goswami, who was one of the leaders of the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, he was sitting and meditating. While he was sitting under a tree and meditating, he was um, he was inspired to see a vision. He saw in his vision a very beautiful pastime of Radha and Krishna. He saw that Radharani was plucking flowers from a tree. And as she was plucking flowers from a tree, there were some flowers that were very high up in the air, very high up on one of the higher branches. And Radharani was not able to reach those branches. Suddenly, Radharani saw that the branch was coming down by itself. So Radharani was so happy to see that the branch, filled with so many hundreds of flowers, was bending itself so that Radharani could pluck those flowers. Radharani held the branch with one of her hands and began to pluck flowers with her other hand. Obviously, now this branch was not bending by itself. Krishna was standing on this tree and with his leg he was bending the branch. Krishna was hiding behind the foliage, so Radharani could not see Krishna at all. But she could only see that branch bending down. She couldn't see Krishna's feet, and she couldn't see Krishna hiding behind those bushes. So Radharani held up the branch with one hand, and she was plucking flowers with the other hand. Suddenly, Krishna, when Krishna saw that Radharani had gripped the branch very much, Krishna lifted his leg. And that whole branch, along with Radharani, shot up in the air. Radharani was like flying in the air, literally. And she began to hang on that branch, and Krishna began to enjoy the helplessness of Radharani. And this was the vision that Rupa Goswami had. Suddenly the vision broke. So while this vision was happening, and while this really funny scene was happening, Rupa Goswami laughed out loudly. Of course, he was seeing it in his meditation, and the vision was so powerful and so real in front of Rupa Goswami that his physical body, he began to laugh physically. All of a sudden, the vision went away. Rupa Goswami was not able to see Radha and Krishna's Leelas anymore. The vision just disappeared all of a sudden. He tried to close his eyes and meditate again. He tried his best to regain that vision. But no matter how much he tried, he was just not able to regain that vision that he was having. Rupa Goswami became very sad. He didn't know what was happening. He didn't know how he lost and why he lost that vision. He went to his brother Sanatana Goswami to find out what happened. He told the entire story. And Sanatana Goswami asked him, "Did you offend any devotee today?" Rupa Goswami said, "No, not at all. At least I don't remember that I offended anybody consciously." Sanatana Goswami told him that whenever we have spiritual experiences, whenever we are making progress in our spiritual journeys, and suddenly we find that we are not able to make progress, one of the reasons could be that we may have knowingly or unknowingly offended some Vaishnava. If we have offended a Vaishnava, Krishna will take away that vision from us. Krishna will take away that spiritual bliss and experience from us. Sanatana Goswami advised to Rupa Goswami to first find out whom he had offended and beg forgiveness from that Vaishnava. Rupa Goswami said, "How will I know? I don't even know whom I have offended." Sanatana Goswami said, "The only way to find out is call all the sadhus of Vrindavan for a feast." So Rupa and Sanatan arranged for an elaborate feast and called every single sadhu from Vrindavan to come and eat in that feast. They observed very carefully all the sadhus that came there to eat that feast. There was one sadhu that had not come at all. Rupa and Sanatan ran to that sadhu and they asked him, "What happened? Why did he not come?" And then that sadhu explained that he felt a little bad that Rupa Goswami had laughed at him. That sadhu apparently had a handicap and he was walking in a very awkward way. And while he was walking in an awkward way, Rupa Goswami laughed out loudly. And the sadhu felt that he was laughing at him. Actually, Rupa Goswami was absorbed in his own samadhi. He was seeing a Leela of Radha and Krishna, and seeing that pastime of Radha and Krishna, he laughed. And the sadhu thought that he is laughing at him, and he got offended. And Rupa Goswami explained the vision and explained why he laughed. And then the sadhu realized that Rupa Goswami was not making fun of him. And the sadhu completely understood and he forgave Rupa Goswami and he let go of that grudge that he was holding in his heart. And from the next day onwards, Rupa Goswami again began to have spiritual experiences. This is a very instructive story for all of us. A lot of what we do in our spiritual journeys depends a lot on how we treat people around us. When we are very respectful to the devotees around us, our experience of spirituality is very powerful. But when we take devotees for granted and when we disrespect them knowingly or unknowingly, we lose the spiritual progress that we make. We lose the spiritual experiences that we make. If we are having an experience that suddenly we have lost our spiritual bliss, if we have lost the joy in chanting, if we lost the joy in hearing, if we lost the joy in Krishna consciousness, maybe we have offended some devotee. And the only way to really get back that joy is when we sincerely ask forgiveness from the devotee for the offense that we have caused, knowingly or unknowingly. Many times, without even understanding, our mind tends to find faults with devotees. When we are in a spiritual organization, a spiritual circle, there is so much good that is happening. There is so much wonderful things that is happening. But our mind tends to go towards all the not so good things that are happening. The mind tends to go towards the faults that apparently we might see in devotees. And we focus on finding those faults and also focus on meditating on those faults of the devotees. When we do that, we immediately lose our spiritual experiences. We immediately lose our connection with Krishna. We immediately lose the spiritual ecstasy that we experience. The only way to get it back is to find out whom we have offended and to beg forgiveness sincerely from all our hearts. The day we beg forgiveness sincerely from all our hearts, that is the day when we will get back our spiritual experiences and we will get back our spiritual ecstasy. This is a very instructive story from the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, especially Rupa and Sanatana Goswami are teaching us a very valuable lesson. These are exalted souls. They are at the level of Bhava. They are like literally experiencing Krishna Prem, one step away from Krishna Prem. And at that stage also they are going through these cycles. Imagine, what about us? We are not even in the initial stages of our spiritual progress. Imagine how much deterioration will happen in our journeys simply if you offend devotees. So let us try not to offend any devotees Let us try not to find faults with any devotees, whether we see them stalking, in front of us, whether we see hundreds of faults, whether we see very apparent and big faults. It's none of our business. Let us mind our own business. Their faults, Krishna will take care, and let us just focus on our own progress, and let us not offend anyone. Let us not even mentally offend devotees, understanding that Krishna loves them. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.